say they were bad, but you were thinking, gosh, like.
Do you know what it is? It's like, for me, it depends, innit? Because at the same time, you've got your director, and it's like, and they've got their kind of the direction they want your character to go in and the notes that they give you. So I would say a bad actor is probably someone that doesn't bring the character to life the way the director wants that character to be, or the writer wants that character to be brought to life. But at the same time, an actor doesn't bring their kind of spark, their twinkle, their talent to that character as well.
Okay.
There's a lot of factors that make a character come alive, and you've got to kind of add all those little pieces together to bring the best character out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you said that in the nicest way possible. You did not want to throw anyone under the bus, because I was thinking, you're thinking in your head, oh, you know what, there was him, but no, actually, what? Yeah, I like that.
What's difficult for me personally is when an actor doesn't like I'm not really on point with their lines. So like every second they don't get their lines.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Then when you're acting with them, it kind of throws you. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of doesn't work. And maybe an actor that is not really, doesn't make it natural. But then sometimes they could be working on a project where the director or that project style is not natural. So they've got to be able to kind of adjust to whatever audience or they're playing to, or whatever style their production is. Does that make sense?
Do you know what?
A natural
that
actor
does make
is
sense.
one of the best.
That was such a sick answer. Like we got in, but that tells you you're so passionate about your craft. Because that was such a sick answer. That was such a sick answer, man. I appreciate that. I nearly called you Zac then. I swear. Let's just go straight there, man. All right. So Duayne, you're known for quite a long-standing role in Hollyoaks. It wasn't brief. It was over the period of quite a few. It's like nearly 4 years.
Yeah.
You were doing that.
Years, I think, yeah.
How was that?
Do you know what? It was a good experience, man.
I bet.
I didn't go to drama school or anything, so I kind of used that as my drama school, my uni, my kind of, do you know what I mean, time to really develop my craft and get in front of the camera and get comfortable.
Because I know you've done a couple of things before that, like some smaller projects, but this is like the first big thing that lands on your plate. How did the audition go? Like, how was that whole process? Because I wonder, like, how do you even get casted for these shows in the first place? Do you know what I'm saying? How was that process?
It was interesting, man. Do you know what? I done a movie before that called 100 Streets.
Yeah.
And had Idris Elba in it. That was on Netflix
I've heard that
as well. That was kind of a different type of thing to Hollyoaks.
Completely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially the characters that I played. So in terms of how did it come about, I done an audition for Line Pictures,
the company,
and they're the company that produced Hollyoaks. So I kind of done an audition for them, and it was to do something completely different for a new show that they were working on. Now that show never got picked up. So a year later, I never had an agent at that point. It was just an open audition. My boy sent it to me on Twitter like, yo Duayne, you do acting, you should go. So I went to that open audition and I battered it up the best way that I can. Do you get what I mean? No agent or nothing, just a hungry young actor.
Was that the character you auditioned for? Is that the character you played?
In Hollyoaks?
Yeah, so like when you went to an audition, you batted up the audition.
Yeah.
Were you auditioning specifically for the role of Zac?
No. This was nothing
just an
to do with
open...
that. This was just another project.
Okay. We're still on... Okay, we're still on
Line
another project.
Pictures were producing.
Okay.
And then that project, when I got the role, we filmed it and stuff. That project never got picked up, so it never got commissioned. So I was like, okay, keep moving. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
A year later, by then I had done 100 Streets and all of that, and I've kind of got an agent now and just done little theatre productions here and there. And a year later, Line Pictures had remembered me. The casting director from Line Pictures had remembered me from that project that I'd done an open audition for. Do you get it? So then they've hit on my agent now and said, yo, can we see Duayne for the character of now Zac Loveday? So that's when I kind of started auditioning for Zac Loveday. But that was another long process because they were casting a whole family.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So they were casting Zac, his dad, his mum, and a sister. So it's not just about my individual ability, it's about the look of the family.
The chemistry,
you know what I mean?
If you all look good together.
Exactly. So that audition was like crazy. That took like, I think it was like 5-6 rounds.
Were you nervous at any point that kind of like you thought maybe it was in the bag? Were you nervous at any point that like it was going to kind of go left? Was there anything that made you think, oh, like this might not happen?
Yeah, do you know what? You know when you're in the room and everyone's talking, like all the boys. I don't know if you know, but let me just set the scene. When you go to an audition, a lot of the time there's other people waiting to go into that room as well. You're looking at people that look like you, sound like you.
Could you imagine that? Like the scene, there's a scene in Friends where like Joey's at an audition or whatever, and he's in the room full of people that just all look like him.
You know what I mean? And everyone's going for that same role.
Okay.
So then everyone just starts talking and getting to know each other. And at one point, I think I was on like my 3rd round or whatever, no, my 4th round, and one of the guys was like talking, and I think his auntie was one of the directors that worked on the show. So in my head, I was thinking, oh,
it's done. Yeah, it's done.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what chance have I got? This guy's he's got a link. Like, he's in there. You know what I mean? He's got someone pushing for him. So I think I was kind of a bit like, ooh. But other than that, I don't know, man. I was kind of...
Well, it came to fruition in the end, obviously. You did that. You had some crazy storylines. We're going to get to that. I just want to know, like, what's it like to kind of become essentially famous overnight? Because that is kind of what happens when you're on like a, well, you know, it's not small soap. It's a big soap on like one of the main channels. Yeah. So you're gonna kind of come into this whole audience of people that like you would never otherwise interact with, kind of thing. Yeah. Like people just from like, you know, like Sally from Stockport, for example, and like whoever from Plymouth, like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, what's it like to kind of come into that transition of kind of being famous overnight and you're getting stopped and recognized by like all these random people?
Do you know what? It was kind of weird because I don't know. At first, like, the thing about me, I was quite popular in my area anyway.
You're
so
bait.
I kind of,
in other words,
I was quite big. So I was kind of like, because I did like comedy and that back in the day and little hosting and stuff like that. People kind of knew me for my craft anyway. So I was used to that kind of attention. But being on Hollyoaks, it kind of opened it, like you said, to a much wider audience. And then I was all cool with it, but I don't know, it kind of made me a bit like paro at first.
Of course, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, I think experiences kind of shaped the way it was, because I started thinking like everyone's watching me, like everyone knows who you are.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's because one time I was there and someone just started filming me, or like I'll go home and I'll just see myself online and people like saying, oh yeah, they've seen and watching me, and I don't even know that they're watching.
You're seeing videos of yourself like catching the train earlier, and you're like,
see what I'm saying? So starting to see stuff like that, I just started getting a bit paro, and then you'll be chilling and then someone will take out their phone and you're thinking, they probably don't even know who I am or even care about me. But you're thinking, right, you filming me, like, why is
yeah, you just every opportunity you're like, right, is he looking at me? Are they looking?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the only thing that it was a bit difficult for me to.
Yeah, because it's like you can't slip at any point basically. Now it's like you can't do anything untoward, anything out of line, whether it's littering or just like something dumb like that, or like, do you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
And I was a
like,
guy that loved my food, bro. So I was a chicken and chip shop man. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll always be like back in the chicken and chips, like anywhere. And then after a while, I started thinking, right, do it. You kind of got to chill, cut.
Yeah, certain things you realise you probably can't do anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like casual things. Do you know what I'm saying? Stuff that would have been perfectly acceptable prior that you do on a just normal day. Say, nah. So yeah. That's crazy.
It was a bit weird. It is a bit weird, but it is weird.
Good weird.
Yeah, I guess so. There's pros and cons, innit?
Of course. Right now, quickly, before we move on, I just want to cover the storylines, because the one thing I think that show is known for is like mad storylines, like crazy dramatic storylines. Was there ever a storyline that you did that prior to it you were kind of like, oh, like you know, you were either like reluctant, worried, or like, how is this gonna go down? Like, was there anything specific that you were like, oh, I don't know?
Do you know what? There was one, like the whole Zac falling in love with his fake sister storyline.
Yeah.
It was like, I was a bit worried that people would be looking at that as incest and all of these things. But at the same time, it wasn't, because my character fell in love with his fake sister. So technically, she wasn't his sister.
If I remember rightly, did she like come and pretend that she was the person that you were all looking for?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So
I remember.
So Zac fell in love with her at the point when he realised that she wasn't his sister. You get it?
Yeah.
And then they had to kind of keep that secret, and it was kind of having their secret affair where their parents and everybody else thought that they were brothers and sisters.
Of course.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
of course.
It's messed up.
So it was mad. It was wild, man. I was like, oh my God. But It was cool.
Do you think that like, because obviously you spent time there, do you think the writers of that show, do you reckon that's part of their intended style to do crazy things?
Yeah.
Like that is part of their ethos. Like they know full well when they sit in office, look, we know this looks mad, but we're gonna do it anyway because
Hollyoaks are known for just coming up with the just
wildest, bro.
craziest storylines, but they do it and they do it well, and that's their style, innit?
Okay. Lastly, obviously, I just want to cover quickly because this is made way up north, so you lived there, right?
Yeah.
And like, are you living with like other cast members and stuff?
Yeah, do you know, I live with my guy Parry, man.
Mm-hmm.
Parry, he's one of the other cast members on the show. He played Harry.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, kind of, you get 6 months to kind of settle in,
Mm-hmm.
and they put you up in apartments and stuff like that.
Nice.
Well, not 6 months, sorry, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And after the 6 weeks, well, during that time, you've got to kind of be looking for your own place and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so after 6 weeks,
it's not a free ride, like.
not a free
oh,
ride,
I thought
nah.
like they literally hook you up, like, cool. Here's where you're gonna live for the next couple of
Yeah,
years.
nah.
Here's this, here's that. Pattern.
Nah,
See you
so
later.
you're there for 6 weeks, and then in that 6 weeks, you're there kind of looking for how you can accommodate for yourself. And stuff
Okay,
like that.
all right.
So I
It's
found
not
a place with Parry because he started near enough at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of just thought, yo, we might as well just.
But yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought it was just like a complete free ride that you get given. All right, cool, man. Soap star lifestyle, man. That sounds sick. We're gonna get into a track right now. Gonna get into some NSG. I'm gonna be talking to Duayne more right on the other side. I'm in the building with an extra special guest. He goes by the name of Duayne Boachie. Now, right, let's go straight back into this one, man. Right, we've covered Hollyoaks. Now, when you come off, okay, let me rephrase that question. Imagine having a job, yeah, and everything's lit, and then that kind of job comes to an end. I'd consider it it must have been a wild ride. Like I'd call it like a gravy train. When the gravy train kind of comes to an end, and you kind of got to go into other things. What's that like? Is it scary?
100%. It's definitely scary, man. But yeah, man, it's scary.
I can imagine.
It's exciting at the same time. Because when you've got a passion and an ambition to do something, you always want to keep progressing in your career. So having the opportunity to do different things and just playing different characters was definitely something that I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? So it's exciting at the same time, but you just get a bit nervous. But yeah.
I know, I would be like, it's only normal because imagine you've been doing something for it's become such a big part of your life because you've been doing it. You almost kind of like get a bit comfortable. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. You get used to doing something, and everything's going good, and you kind of probably don't think too much about what's going to happen after. You just kind of, right, this is what I've got to do now, so let me just smash this, and then when that ends, that ends. So
exactly.
You've come off Hollyoaks. Like, talk to me about some of the auditions you've gone through since.
Just been auditioning, man.
Is that just
But I've come up. I've done quite a few big projects.
No, I'm sure you've been linking up with all kinds of people to make stuff happen. Of course.
So it's been a very, very challenging but good because every time you don't get a role, you kind of see it as a rejection.
Yeah.
But it's the way you look at it. Do you get what I'm saying? Because at the same time, you're building your connections, and what's for you will be for you. Mm-hmm. So it's you got to be very thick-skinned and kind of understand that this journey isn't gonna be easy. And networking, communicating, putting your face in the right places, and auditioning.
Of course. that's a huge part of it.
Is how you progress in this. So
what I mean what I mean when I say that question, okay, for example, because obviously all right, your job's come to an end, so it's like, okay, cool, in order to line up more work you've got to get busy. So is it kind of like you've come into this new transition of I need to get auditioned everywhere? Was it kind of like a not necessarily a panic mode, but did you think, okay, cool, all right, if I want to line up something similar, boy, I've got to get so busy right now? Was it a bit of not like a panic, I say, but was it kind of
it's a hunger. You get your hunger back. You get your refocus back. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's where I was going with it.
Yeah, so it's where you're in work and you're relaxing, you might forget how the hunger and the passion that you had to get into that position.
That's exactly. So when you come out, complacent, but complacent.
So when you come out, you get that drive again. You remember that same little buzz that you had when you was younger, trying to push yourself into that level. So you just kind of that comes again, that grows again, and you kind of just keep working again. You get that buzz. So it's it's been an exciting
No,
journey.
of course, good, exciting. But obviously, if you've had spare time, I don't suppose you managed to go back to uni and finish your degree off. Did you?
Oh no.
We went to the same uni.
Swear down.
Yeah, I went uni in Luton for a bit still.
Swear down.
Yeah, I hightailed out of there after a year, but we went. Yeah, literally
here,
during the
man.
same year,
I
we
bust
was
out.
both there, and then yeah, you bust out, I bust out, but. Yeah, I don't know.
What did you bust up for? Was it for what, radio?
To come to London.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wasn't. Listen, as much as I like Luton, shout out DJ T Cell. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling the vibe. Like,
Yeah.
Your excuse was different though. You had bigger commitments, I guess.
Yeah, but at the same time, uni, I felt like it sounds crazy, but for me, uni was just
Something to do.
you know what? I'm not gonna lie, like just a way to kind of fill a gap.
Yeah.
Because you get to a stage in life where you need a gap to be filled, you know what I mean?
100%.
So it's like, it was just kind of a way to fill a gap while I kind of pursue my acting career. And hopefully like kept auditioning, and I had faith that something will come up. And if something didn't come up, then at the same time, I've got my degree to kind of fall back on.
Exactly. All right, but it's no chances of you probably continuing that anytime soon. You're on that because once you know what it is. Once you've come out of uni and you actually start working, you realize actually uni's dead. Like I'm working now and I'm doing what I want to do and everything's kind of good. So it's like, wait, uni where? No, I know exactly what you mean.
It depends if it's for you, innit? If it's for you, it's for you. But
No,
if
I hear
not,
that.
then
I wouldn't advise anyone to drop out. No, that is not what I'm saying. All right, cool. So you had a role in the Blue Story.
Yeah.
I liked your character. The reason I liked your character was because you were like the only one in all of that happened. You were like the only one that turned around and said, "Look, this is dead. Like, what are we doing? This is dead." And like throughout most of the movie, I kind of thought, okay, like don't get me wrong, the movie's telling a story, but a lot of the things that happen in the movie, I kind of thought, well, if this was a real life situation, like, what is the point in half of this stuff? Like, why is this even happening? What did you think about the plot? Not in terms of like bashing the plot or thinking it was bad, but you know, like what goes on, like what happened in the movie, like what did you think about that, like the plot and how things went down, like the story, the overall story, like the ending? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed with the ending, only because I just didn't see it coming. It was so random. It was just like, what, him? Really, him? Like Smokey Joe, like the one who just always smoked him. What did you think of the plot, man?
Do you know what it is? Big up Rapman first of all, because what you just felt where you didn't expect it. Rapman is like the king of that. He can always put on productions where you are just like, what the, like, where did that come from? Do you know what I mean? He's got such a shock factor in the way that he writes. It's just sick. So I can understand where you're like, I didn't even expect that.
Not at all.
You wouldn't even play it. You would never know it's coming. But at the same time, the plot kind of just showed the reality of the life that they're living. Do you know what I mean? So as much as it was a shock to you, that kind of, the message is very important, because you can be doing all of that, but there's only certain directions your life is going to go if you continue to be living that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, nowhere good. Like,
so,
where are you ended
so
up?
What he showed wasn't the, oh my gosh, I watched this movie and then there's this happy ending. He kind of showed the reality. So it's like, yeah, you can expect this whole big movie and like this brilliant and amazing outcome, but at the end of the day, the truth is, and real life is, that this is what's happening.
Yeah, the whole wheelchair thing, that was just like, that was a bit like, whoa. Like, it got really real in the film. It got a bit too real, you know what I mean?
And that's why probably it was a bit difficult for you to say, do you know what I mean? For you to be like, oh, do you know what? Because you don't want to see, a lot of people don't want the truth. They don't want to look at the truth,
No.
you know what I'm saying? And the reality is, the message was amazing, because it's like, especially for the kids that are living that type of life, there's not a lot of options. You go jail, or you can, do you know what I mean? There's not really too many outcomes, and that was one of the realest outcomes that I could
100%. You mentioned Ratman's like writing abilities.
Yeah.
I personally think they should have had him on like the Power season 6, right? In that,
It's
because
cold,
I mean, have you been watching that?
I have been watching Power, you know.
What did you manage to catch the
last one?
Yeah, spoiler alert. To be fair, it's been leaked for weeks. So, I mean, if you haven't watched it, it's kind of like, all right, just give it up. What did you think of the ending? Like,
do you know what? I felt like it had. I felt like it had to be. Am I allowed to spoil it? Yeah.
oh yeah, man, just let it go. Yeah.
It had to be Tariq.
Yeah, I know, but I was really kind of hoping for like a blue story kind of ending where you're just like, whoa, did not see that. You kind of saw that coming. That's why I say, like, if they had a rap man on the team, probably wouldn't have gone down. Wouldn't have gone down like that.
Who do you think it could have been?
Do you know what? Yeah, I would have liked it to either have been Governor Tate or Sax, and the reason why is because like they're kind of you wouldn't see it coming from them. With like Tariq, he's been crying throughout the whole of season 6. I hate you. It's kind of like he's got some personal issues going on with him that he needs some counselling with. So with him, I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be him because it's just like the ultimate betrayal. Like, you know, no matter what your parents kind of do, you know what I mean? Like, come on, like you can't.
I get you. Do you know what though?
To shoot your own dad.
For me, it's like the only person. Ghost has been the guy from season 1 to the end, and everyone has tried to get him and no one can get him. So for me, it's like the only person that would be accepted, that I could accept killing him, would be someone that's close to him.
I'd prefer Tasha. Do you know what? I like your answer. That is true. Like,
the only person that I would accept would have to be someone that is so close that he couldn't see it coming. Yeah, we could see it coming, but for the character of Ghost, no other person apart from someone close to him can I allow killing him, man.
When you spin it like that, from that perspective, that's a really good point. You've kind of actually made me rethink the ending, because when you put it like that, I see your point. It's you got to look at it from Ghost's perspective.
He's that guy.
We're already in on it, but okay.
Do you know what I mean?
You completely, like, mind blown. I get it now. All right, I'm completely with you. It was a bit disappointed with that, but I completely see where you're coming from. Now, while we're talking about American dramas and stuff, now obviously at this time there are a lot of black British actors in America doing things at the moment. Could you see something like that for yourself? Hopefully,
100%, man.
You wouldn't. Do you know what the funniest thing is? You wouldn't even be the first to come off like Hollyoaks and go and do something, because I can't remember his name, but he was in it a few years ago. His name's Calvin, I think, something like that. He was in it like when I was a kid, and obviously he's gone on to do some popping things. What do you think about like the kind of the growing rise of like black British actors in America? Because they've got their own black actors, so it's a weird one.
Man. It's beautiful. Like what's happening right now for us, the UK, the scene, black actors, like it's so beautiful. So I'm definitely here for it, man. Like going to America and smashing roles, even over here smashing roles. It's amazing. So like I'm definitely for it. And
it could be on the table.
It is.
I mean, obviously
100%.
At the moment, obviously, all right. So Bashi's done it. Daniel Kaluuya, Jovan Wade, who's just done something that's coming out very soon. The superhero thing he's got going on looks pretty interesting. Damson Idris, obviously doing Snowfall at the moment.
My guy.
Yeah, like it's actually crazy. Have you managed to see that show, Snowfall?
I started watching season 1, but I haven't continued.
You're way behind. Let me tell you, that show there, that is a ride. It's a wild ride. I'm not gonna lie. Do you know what? Let me just talk to the listener right now. Duayne, hold on a minute. Yeah, if you yourself have not watched Snowfall seasons 1 to 3, crazy wild ride. I personally think it's a little bit better than Power.
Swear down.
Yeah, because
you know what? I don't doubt that. Honestly, because from the first season when I watched it, I was like, yo, I definitely need to continue watching this stuff. I just think at the time, but it is nuts.
Actor lifestyle.
And Damson is so wavy, because even remember that project that I was talking about when I was like for Line Pictures, and then a year back they hit me up, but I didn't get commissioned. It was actually me and Damson in that project as well.
Are you serious?
I swear down.
Oh, bro, it's literally it's lined in the sand, bro. It's there for you. Like,
listen, it's there, man. It's there.
Like your time's got to listen.
1,000,000%, man. We just got to keep grinding.
That's
man.
crazy. Okay, so you've already kind of worked closely with him. I was just throwing his name in there, and then you're telling me, you remember that audition? He was there.
Yeah, no, he got the part. We was in the production together.
Wow.
I got like clips. He's cold, man. He's cold. Man.
No, he's definitely doing his thing, because I hadn't actually seen him in anything prior to Snowfall.
Yeah.
But was he out there prior to Snowfall? Then?
Yeah.
Like he was well known in the acting industry.
In the acting, it's different, isn't it? Because like a lot of the time with acting, it's just not about what the viewers like. The viewers have their own interpretation of the actors that are doing whatever they're doing. But in the scene, you can be working and you can be really active, but just not as known or as popular. But for actors, it's not about the kind of, obviously for some actors, it's not about how popular you are.
No.
It's just about working in the industry.
About the roles you get and,
Exactly.
you know, like being the best actor you can be and making sure
Exactly.
you can play any different,
Exactly. So
any
for
kind of role.
Damson, I'm sure he was definitely like doing other projects and that, but Snowfall's the one that really kind of propelled him to a audience where he's getting a lot of more attention, if that makes sense.
Well, if there are any plans of you potentially, obviously, going across the Atlantic, I need to hear your American accent.
Wow.
Have you got, you know?
I've been working on it. 100%.
Have you been working on it?
Yeah,
Can I, go on, let me hear a little bit.
Not
It's
yet,
all right.
man.
Nah.
You know what it is though? When I get into my character and I get into that zone,
I hear you.
then I'll smash it.
Like when I turn on my radio voice kind
Do you
of thing.
understand?
Like
When you did that, I was like, wow, because you got into your character there and you've done it. So for me, right now, I'm too chilled as Duayne.
I hear you, but you can do it, yeah?
Of course.
All right, cool.
It
All
has to
right.
be.
All right, well, we'll see.
Every young
how it
black
play.
actor needs to be trying to master that accent.
100%.
In fact, every actor, not young black, every actor needs to try and master that accent because there's roles there, man.
No, 100%. Let's talk about the most recent project. You had a role in Dino's brand new movie, which is called The Re-Up, not The Drop.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Your character's a bit of a waste, man.
Yeah, man.
He's very unlikable.
You know what? He's a silly guy, man.
How did that come about?
Literally, I done a project that should be out next year, a movie called One Track Mind, and the director of that basically hit me up and said there's another project that Dino's working on, and one of my boys was in it as well, Casey. So yeah, I just kind of done that. I said, yeah, why not?
I think the only thing I liked about your character, you know, your relationship is comfy when you're in your girl's house and you're calling her mummy, and you're like, oh yeah, can you get me this? Can you get me that? And like you're just there, bro. Listen, that's pattern.
You know what? He's cheeky, man. But I like it because it's kind of completely different to some of the other characters that I played. So right now, for me, it's just about showing the different type of characters that I can play, and not just sticking to one type of character. Because when you come out of a show like Hollyoaks, you're kind of associated with a certain character for too long. So when people look at you, that's what they see. So big up Rapman as well. When I done Blue Story, it was like someone completely different when I played Sneaks. And then in the movie that I'm doing now, One Track Mind, he's another completely different character. So with the Re-Up, with Dino, he's such another different character, which is good for me, man. I like
Loves
it.
himself too much.
Yeah, he's funny. He's cheeky, man.
I rate that. Cheeky. All right, cool. Duayne, man, I really appreciate you passing through the building, man. It's been really, really good to talk to you, man. I appreciate that. Where can they find you on the social medias?
Duayne Boa. That's DUAYNEBOA. That's how you spell my name. So that's on the socials, on everything, Twitter and Instagram. I say everything, but it's just Twitter.
Yeah, just Twitter and
I don't
Instagram.
do anything else.
All right, cool, man. I wish you all the best, man, with everything you've got coming up.
Love my guy.
I hope to hear that American accent at some point.
You see it, man.
And obviously,
you see it and you hear it, man.
I look forward to what you got coming up, man. Duayne, man, I appreciate it.
Love, man.
I'm holding down your airwaves for just another 10 minutes. I got some brand new Little Pino